Hello, test. Okay, levels look good. What was auto mix too? Nothing useful. I don't know. Hello. We play chess here. Just seeked a random 25-10 game. That's the best I can do on chesscube. They don't allow you to select what exact time controls you want to pick, you want to play. They just have a drop-down box that has a whole bunch of options. 25-10 is one of them. There aren't very many with increments either. Yeah, see, I hate this. Let's see. What do I do here? Bishop b4? If I do like c5, don't I lose a pawn or something? No, I don't think I do. Okay, so what am I doing? Go knight f6, e5, knight d7, seems okay. I think that's what I usually do against knight c3. I don't really remember. Okay, so a couple options here. One is h6, which I don't really like, and bishop e7. So the problem I have is bishop e7, e5, then knight d7, and then he takes, and I get to lose my good bishop. H6 now, and he just backs up, and I have the same problem. Or h6 and takes, or h6 and e5. h6, e5, h takes, and e takes. So I have to do this. Okay, he didn't play e5, so that's something. You can go d takes e4, where she has two protectors on, I've got two attackers on. So it'd just be a swap. But d takes, and then probably knight takes, and he's got some pressure on f6. So I think here at this point I want to go ahead and play c5. c5, if e5, then knight d7, I think. Let's see. We could go something like bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, and then d takes c. And I guess I would have to treat that as like a gambit. So might go ahead and take on d4. Other options are knight c6, queen b6, those kinds of things. Okay, so what am I going to do? I don't have anybody watching now, I don't think. Tell me if you're watching me, because it doesn't say I have any viewers right now. Let's see. What do I want to do? I keep talking. H6. I want to take on d4. Huh. Okay, so queen b6 here forks b2 and d4. You can play knight b3. It looks like something I want to do. It's pretty normal for the queen to be on b6 in these lines anyway. I'm going to play queen b6 and then get castled, I think. He could also... No, he can't play knight a4 because of the d4 knight, so I think queen b6 is fine. So it's turning out to be kind of a sort of typical French, even though this is a weird... Like, I don't think this is a common variation. So I have this tension here that I need to probably release at some point. Can't really castle because that would turn this into a pin. And then e5 would be dangerous. Still going to have the typical lie square bishop problem. I'm assuming knight b3 here. I don't... What, is there anything else that works? I don't know. And maybe I could go bishop b4 after that, but he might just take here. I'm really worried about that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he's having trouble finding knight b3. Let's go, guy. He's looking for something better than knight b3? Oh, I guess maybe knight b5 works. Knight d b5, huh? Knight d b5. Is there any reason that should worry me, or let's play bishop d7 with tempo? No, it's not a tempo because he's guarding it twice. Alright. I was also thinking about maybe a d4 advance here. So if I can play d4 and e5, I'm going to activate my light square bishop. But is that going to be too hard to support? d4, attacked once and defended once. So could he put another attacker to bear on it that also keeps me from playing e5 right away? Not sure. Like knight e2 or something? Doesn't stop e5, so if you knight e2, I just play e5. So I guess my thought here is just push d4 and support it with e5 and then spend a lot of resources defending e5. Maybe knight d7. And that way I don't mind so much trading off that bishop, except stop me from castling. I'm going to go ahead and play knight d... sorry, not knight. I'm going to go ahead and play d4 and see where this knight winds up. Let's see. Knight could wind up here. Where does this knight go if I play d4? So I can go here or here. So if here, I don't think I have anything to worry about as far as him jumping into my position down here. So maybe knight b5, then bishop d7 seems okay. And the bishop will have to run away or trade. So, or knight, not bishop. Knight d5, knight b5, bishop d7. You just have to return. So I don't think knight b5 is any good for him. You probably play knight e2, and then I play e5. That's my thought right now. We'll see if it works out. Still have the developmental problems with the light square bishop until I play e5, so I want to play e5 soon. And let's see, develop maybe even just to e6 at that point, because I need to get Mr. b8 knight out to either d7 or c6 to support e5. d7 seems a little bit more natural, but it's going to be kind of in the way of, it'll kind of restrict that light square bishop a little bit. Alright, didn't consider that. Let's see. I'm about to have a really good bishop here, so I don't want to just trade that guy off. So maybe... Maybe just knight c6. Trying to see if there's some way he could add pressure to it, but there isn't really. He couldn't get the queen behind it. What do you think about knight c6? If he takes it, then I just have more support for center with b takes. It's going to isolate my a pawn, but I'll take that trade. If he... what? It doesn't come with any sort of counter threat. Like bishop d7, he'd have to take or move. But I don't want to lose that bishop now because I think it's about to come alive with e5. So I'm going to play knight c6 here. All right, he could potentially play e5 himself. But he's got to deal with this first. And I'm not real thrilled about opening this up before I'm castled, but he's not castled either. Okay, clearly take b takes c6 here, I think. Is that going to cause any unforeseen problems? I don't think so. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Well, there's that. Just missed that. How did I miss that? Yeah, I must have just missed that the whole time. Knight b3 was protecting that the whole time. Okay, so what do I do about it? Do I just take it? Yeah, now I'm not really happy. That just works out to be a blunder. But I do have a little bit more Or wait, was it because... Yeah, it was because my... No, it wasn't because of my knight. My knight was on b8. Quit worrying about the past. What do I want to do here? Am I in any danger? If he swaps queens with me, then I pull my a pawn over to b6. So at least I have hanging pawns instead of two isolated pawns. If I castle now... Or I could stop him from castling with maybe bishop a6. Does that work? Well, he just trades queens, but I think it's okay. Let's see, I do have two bishops. I can't really play bishop c5, can I? I could play maybe c5. Maybe c5 is okay. And then I can start thinking about like bishop a6. Let's do that. I really wonder what kind of brain malfunction I had back there that I just missed that the queen could take on d4. Did something clear out? I need to go and look. It's going to bother me the rest of the game how I just missed queen takes d4. Or even knight takes d4. Just loses a pawn and kind of ruins all the ideas I had. And I just didn't see it. But I'm not going to try to figure it out right now. I need to get that out of my mind. Okay, so two bishops. I want to open things up in the center, but I definitely want to get castled first. I have ideas of bishop a6, keeping him in the center, but he could probably, let's see, he needs to deal with his queen first, but then he'll probably respond to that. Bishop is undefended. So let's see, the queen moves here, there's no tactic. The queen moves here, and I have maybe knight takes e4, but knight takes defends g5, so that doesn't work. It almost works though. So c3 works, but it's close to losing a pawn. Again, knight takes, defends the bishop, so that doesn't work. So just trying to find a place to put his queen. Okay, so what about knight g4 here? Does that work? Knight g4, he can play queen f4, he can play queen d2, anywhere along this diagonal is okay, so that square doesn't cover a lot of the squares on that diagonal. The other square here doesn't do much, so I don't think that's a good idea. So what about knight g4, queen moves here or here, and c, well, he's attacking the knight there. So it might be a fancy trade if I played c4 there. So this kind of says tactics to me, but I can't really see anything right away. What about knight g4, queen f4, e5? Yeah. That's protected by the knight, so that works. He would then have to come back to d2, which also still protects f2. Getting closer, but not yet. So I'm going to go ahead and keep him in the center. And I don't see much way to stop it from him, so I'm going to go ahead and do this. Doesn't really keep him to the center, but it could make him go queenside, I guess. I should play rook d8 also. He could castle queenside here. He probably should. I do have some open lines, and he has some pieces in the way, but I don't have a lot of pawns to protect or to attack with. So still have this knight g4 tactic that could work. I haven't made it work yet. But I need to castle and play rook d8, and I've got knight g4 ideas, so I do have some active things I could be doing. That pawn drop is still bothering me. Can't forget it. So, knight g4. Queen d2 or f4. c4. Nothing really works. Well, that's not. Maybe it's not true. Because if he just moves the knight there, then bishop takes, queen takes, and I'm on f2 without the queen, because the queen is protecting. The queen would be overworked there. So that, I think that works. And not so much now. I do have a check, which would bring him right back to where he was, right? Queen check, knight's hanging. So knight c3. That takes me off the diagonal of the f2 square. So let's gain that tempo back and play rook d8, I guess is what I'm doing here. So we used to play knight c3 here. Yeah. Alright, and I'm going to play rook d8, I think. Keeping him in the center. He is attacking twice here, so that's bad. Oh, I'm defending twice, that's fine. So rook d8. Still kind of feel like I'm in a hurry to castle and open this thing up because I have two bishops. My pieces are pretty active right now. I still have this semi sort of tactic on g4. I guess. I think I run out of squares too easily if I play queen c4. I'm going to go ahead and come back here, which no, doesn't defend the c5 square. So play here. Queen b6, knight a4 now, and I can't check the same way. So I would just have to slide over here. That's fine though. That doesn't really hurt anything. Though it puts another attacker on c5, doesn't it? So knight a4. Knight a4, queen b, whatever, 5? Doesn't really hit that because the queen. Right, so the idea is attacking c5. Let's see. I think I go here. Let's see. I go here. He takes one of the knights. What do I do? He takes with one of the knights. It defends the e4, so that kind of sucks. Yeah, let's go queen b5. If I play queen b5, he takes with one of the knights. I take with the bishop. He takes with the other knight. Still defends knight e4, and I can't play that move. Alright, what do I do here? Also have like rook c8, I guess. Okay. That's not what I expected. Really, it isn't. Alright, I'm gonna go here so they can't gain the tempo on me. You can't fork me either, so I'm just gonna go here. It was a mistake to go to b6 last time. I'm gonna correct that mistake and go to c6 this time. Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't know where I'm going with these pieces, honestly. But this is annoying and I want it to stop. Honestly, my queenside just sucks. I need to get castled. I can't find the time to do it. See, this is just stupid. He's just trying to annoy me. I'm doing a good job right now. So, where does he threaten to go from here? That knight doesn't have any good jumping in points. This knight doesn't have any support there. He doesn't have any support there. So I can just pretty much go where I want. So I'm probably going to go to d7. No, I think I'm going to go here. That does all the same things except doesn't allow a tempo with rook d1. Plus it also attacks the knight. So at some point here I'm going to make that knight g4 tactic work. That's the idea anyway. We'll see. In fact, does it work right now? Knight g4, he can't go to d2, he has to go to f4. Knight g4, f4. Queen takes, bishop takes. Let's look at that again because it may work. Knight g4. I think queen f4 is forced. And bishop takes queen, or queen takes queen, bishop takes queen. Hey, Roch. I am telling a friend that I'm live streaming. Okay, knight g4, queen f4, queen takes, bishop takes. So my queen's here. I've got no, or my knight's here. I've got no queens. Does that work at all with the bishop? Doesn't look like it. So I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and get castled. I've got 2 attackers, 2 defenders. That's okay. Get castled, get the other rook in play. He can't castle either side. Knight g4 stuff still almost works, but not quite. And he's put an end to that. Anything in between doesn't look like it. Alright, so here we go. Oh, he's going to take here. That's fine. Still want to open up here, and let's see. Thinking about like queen g4, attacking here. He still can't castle. His queen is attacking a7. I'm already down. What am I down? 2 pawns now? For this attack that isn't going anywhere. So I'm thinking queen d7 keeps an eye on the a7 pawn. Of course, that knight is defending that square. Queen g4 hangs the pawn in exchange for this one and a pretty good attack. So I think probably queen g4 is probably okay. If we go queen g4 and he plays g3, he's weakened those light squares a lot. So can I get that? Can I get that bishop over there to help out with the attack? Is the question. See, he's down. I'm down all these pawns over here, but there isn't really a lot going on. And I've got these really good bishops. And he's stuck. So let's go queen g4 and just see if I can make anything. This is just kind of speculative, I guess. Why did that happen? Oh, queen g4 doesn't work because I'm on the wrong diagonal. Queen f4? Man, did I just... Oh, I thought I was on queen g4. Queen f4, and I did it twice, too, with a bunch of people watching me. Queen f4, does it do anything? I don't know if queen f4 does anything. So I obviously don't want to trade queens. I'm going to go queen f4. Now again, I'm still hanging this pawn, so I need to have more. Queen g4 at least had that going for it, but queen g4 is not possible. Queen f4, this knight is in the way again. Those knights are doing a pretty good job of defense. What about, like, well, the knight again? So I'm just really not sure. I'm going to have to do this for now. No, I don't know what to do, guys. I just don't know what to do. It's not pleasant right now. I have all these grand ideas of keeping his king in the center and opening it up with two bishops, and I just dropped two pawns, and now I'm having a hard time finding out how to continue, and I'm just having warped mind things like queen g4 that doesn't even exist. Let's see. If I play queen d7, the problem is rook d1. Like everything else just drops that pawn. So what about like queen b7? Yeah, I'm not reading that, so I appreciate the watching it and all that stuff, but this is a live game, so I can see that. I'm not going to read it or try to figure out what you were saying. Let's see. I just really don't know what to do. So I'm low on time. I need to do something soon. I'm thinking about queen b7. Just need to get away from trading queens. I need to protect the a7 pawn, otherwise I'm down 3 pawns. So the problem is I'm just getting a little defensive here, a little passive. But I have to do something. But my main goals are to keep the queens on the board and to keep him from castling. Maybe I can get an attack on that e4 pawn. Those stupid knights over there, you would think they wouldn't be doing much on that side of the board like that. Okay, well, if that's the way you're going to be, I'm going to censor you. Because I don't want that kind of stuff while I'm playing. It's just not very respectful to say something like that either. Exactly, thank you. Obviously you are free to do whatever you want, and we are free to respond to it in the way we think is appropriate, which is, well, for me it's just a censor because I need to be playing. But that was just kind of a rude thing to say. Okay, I don't really understand that move. It rules out castling queenside, so that's at least a small win. So maybe doubling on the d file now might be something worth pursuing. Like rook d7, which helps out with the a7 pawn, and then rook f to d8. Looks like he's kind of tied down right now, so that may be what I do. I'm just not really sure why he did that, other than maybe he just wants to move his knight to, yes, what he's going to do is he's going to do knight to a5. And I'm going to start running out of squares to not trade off queens. So go rook d7 and then queen a8, maybe, just to keep it on that diagonal, getting even more passive. Or if he goes here, no, that's what I need to do. I'm going to go rook d7 to help out. Wait. Okay, I can just win a pawn with check here if I take that knight. In fact, that's what I want to do. Bishop takes, pawn takes, or queen takes, either one, and then queen takes e4. And that's going to get the attack going, so I think that's what I'm going to do. No, I didn't read his line. I saw it started with queen f3, or queen f4, I think, but I didn't read the rest of it. And obviously I didn't do it, but I didn't read the rest of the line, so I just censored him as soon as he was behaving that way. And by the way, that's why I don't live stream playing on Fix. Is just too much of people watching it and commenting on it, and people are, you know, my opponent might see it, things like that. So just, there's too much crap. But I mean, this is fun, so I'm gonna do it. Okay, now here we just have queen takes e4, which is check, and it's gonna have to interpose the queen, I think. And I win c2. There may be stronger, like queen g2. Queen g2 wins another pawn with a threat on the rook. And actually, he doesn't have any good place to put the rook, does he? Because of that diagonal there. So to me, it looks like queen g2 is the move here. Queen c2 also forks those two pieces, but the queen is on the knight. So I'm going to go ahead and play queen g2. Running pretty low on time, so I guess keeping him in the center was the correct strategy. Now that we're open, I've got a bishop against a knight. And I think the material's back to even now. I'll uncensor that guy after the game. I just didn't want to see that stuff. It wasn't like a permanent censor or anything. I just didn't want to see it while I was playing. You know how it is. So where's the rook go from here, right? Okay, so that's just checkmate, right? Okay. So I won. Got kind of lucky there that I actually finally found a plan. To me, that's luck because I'm not really good at it. But I appreciate you 4 people that are watching right now. I had as many as 6, I think, watching at one point. But I appreciate you guys watching, and thanks for having my back on that little tiff there. I'm going to go ahead and uncensor that one guy, El Matos, which, you know, I normally would like to hear his input because he seems to be a pretty strong player, so just not during a game. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close it down, and now we talk about chess. Yeah, if you want to talk about the game with me, I don't know if you're talking to me or not. That'd be cool. I appreciate it, honestly. Just not during the game, obviously. Let me go back and bring the game up here. View game history. This is chesscube for you. See how slow it is? On Fix, you can just type history and you can, or EXL or whatever. Needs to find a correct opponent. Well, I just typed, well, not typed, but clicked seek, so I don't know what that means. Might have to elaborate on that. Okay, so going back, a lot of you guys started watching, like, I can't do anything from the wrong perspective. And I castled, it was around in here. Okay, this attacked the e4 pawn and allowed that trade on c3. So finally finding that little, elementary tactic helped me win the game. But I guess his b1 move was so that he could play knight to e5, which would have just been annoying even further. For that, let's see. There's all this little dancing going on with these knights over here. I'm not sure anybody was watching at that point. But it was pretty annoying. He was just basically harassing my queen side. But here, let's see, this was something I want to come back and look at. Okay, come on, chesscube. There we go. Where was it? Okay, yeah. No, he kicked my queen here to here. And I thought right here he had 3 attackers on c5 and he was just going to take it. But when I did this, he just... Why not take c5 right here? Anyway, I thought that was kind of strange. But he made some strange moves, and I thought he made some good moves. At least decent moves, but it was kind of a weird opening. If you didn't see the beginning, chesscube was really hanging up on me here. I don't really know how to handle this knight c3 stuff. I haven't seen it in a long time. It is pretty fun. A lot of people do it on chesscube. I can help you if you'd like. Understand how it works. It's not really hard. You make an account on LiveStream, and then you need to download Procaster is the name of it, and I think they have a link to it on LiveStream. It's a little bit, weird to set up, but it's not bad. It took a few minutes and got to do some testing and stuff like that. But I got it set up pretty well. Off the screen over here I have a little chat window for you guys that I can see what you're saying. And then I have the Procaster window over here to the side that says I have 4 viewers right now. The only reason I have that up at all is just so I can see if somebody's watching. But it records this, so during that time that nobody was watching, you can actually go back and watch the whole thing later if you want. It automatically records it, and you can click and watch the rest of it. So what do I do here against knight c3? That's my question. What did I do? Wait a minute. Oh, I played knight f6. See, I expected him to play e5 instead. I wonder about live streams and like a team game where there are 4 or 5 people, or maybe more, on one team, all watching the same live stream, or maybe Skyping or something and speaking in real time. You can do it in chat channels on Fix pretty easy, and I think there's a bot for that. But it might be something to do with live streaming too. I don't know. Talking about a whole bunch of people collaborating in a game. Yeah, so this bishop d3 stuff, this opening doesn't look right to me. It just looks like there's probably some big flaws. Improved a lot against cheaters. I don't know that I would really mind or want to improve against cheaters. It doesn't really matter to me. Okay, so anyway, that's where the game kind of started. We got through that opening. I'm going to go and shut this down here in a minute. But I played knight c6 here because I thought I was going to get to play e5, and then my light square bishop would be my good bishop, so I didn't want to play bishop d7. Oh, that's the thing that bothered me with hanging this d4 pawn. How did I hang that d4 pawn? Because the bishop moved, and I just kind of missed it. Yeah, it was just a tactic, and I just completely went brain dead against it. But when he played bishop b5, it opened up the queen. I just completely missed it. That wasn't a major piece sitting there on d4, so I wasn't looking at it like a normal tactic. Bishop takes c6 was bad. Why not queen takes d4? Yeah. I mean, the knight's pinned, so you can do it right then. Probably he was just worried about tricks. I mean, I think his rating is pretty low. I mean, I'm just guessing that's what he was psychologically thinking. Who knows? Okay, well, I guess that's it. That's all I'm going to do for now. I need to import this game into Skid and look at it later with my other ones. But thanks for watching. I'll do it again sometime, or if somebody wants help on how to set up LiveStream so they can do it, I'd be happy to help. I don't know how to close. I don't know how to stop this. Yes, I do. I have to go to this thing. Okay, guys. See you later.